Wait up, minute. Whoa, whoa. Big bands, flex up. Wait up. Whoa, whoa. Big bands, flex up, push up. Whoa, whoa. I'm no great. What you know about that Future in that Cardi, man? It could be. I forgot the name. I forgot the lyrics, but you know, if you know the song, you know the cadence. You know what I'm saying? I forgot the lyrics though.
Yarmel Devontae Jameer Williams, better known as 051 Melly, was born on November 19th, 1991.
Them the ops.
Angie and a father named Lemur. Melly grew up with 2 siblings, including his brother Wu and his sister Kenjia.
I even know he had brother.
Golden, aka Fido, was also Melly's stepfather until he would get a life sentence in 1994 for quadruple murder, where he allegedly took part in the slaying of 4 men for selling drugs in the wrong turf. Fido apparently being a member of the BDN, or Black Disciple Nation, who controlled the area where Melly grew up, a gang that we'll be discussing in more detail. Melly was also close to his 2 uncles, G Slim, who was one of the founders of the No Limit, or NLMB, gang set from the so-called East.
What do you mean? I never knew that. What do you mean this nigga? See, that's how Chicago be so crazy, bro. Because what do you mean a GD from one of the most hated GD sets in Chicago, stepdad was a big BD, and then his uncle was G Slim. Nigga, do y'all know who G Slim is? He's a legend. A legend. And he started NLMB. What do you mean, yo, uncle? Like, Chicago gang politics just be so crazy, man.
Side of Chicago, who have heritage in the gang the Black P Stones.
That's her right there.
For their infamous rappers like G Herbo, Lil Bibby, and Mellow Bucks, and Kurt Mack, who was a well-known member hailing from the so-called Dro City area in Woodlawn, where the original creator of drill music, the rapper Pac-Man, also hailed from. Melly's family connections even reach all the way to the rapper Bump J, who reps the Four Corner Hustlers gang, and who was perhaps the most popular gangster rapper from Chicago before the drill era began. For sure, gangs have been a part of Melly's life since a very young age, but interestingly, Melly's family connections could have taken his life in a completely different route than it ultimately did. Because while Melly has become known as one of the deadliest rivals of world-famous rappers like Lil Durk and King Von, they actually grew up in the same areas and circles. Melly spent his early years in the Randolph Tower, also known as the Calumet Building or simply the Met Building, a large public housing project located at 6217 South Calumet Avenue, only a block away from the infamous O Block, aka Parkway Gardens, which guys like Chief Keef and King Von would later begin to claim. Randolph Tower was known as one of the biggest Black Disciple strongholds in Chicago during the 90s and early 2000s.
Definitely was. Calumet Building was busting. A lot of people don't know about that Calumet Building. Man, I do not miss some projects. I'm glad I tore that shit down.
Some double murder in a Southside Chicago apartment today.
I had to tore that shit down.
Anonymous tip: the bodies of 57-year-old Jesse Jackson, not of Operation Push, and an unidentified young woman were found murdered at 6217 South Calumet Avenue. Jackson lived in the apartment. The woman in her mid-20s lived nearby. The bodies were tied together with electrical cord.
I know y'all tired of watching them boring-ass reactions, man. You seeing the same thing every time, but you ain't seeing the craziest, most unedited shootouts and craziest videos on the internet. So let's go ahead and sign up for that membership right now, where you can get 10 videos a week, unedited, unfiltered, uncensored. Let's go ahead and get into it, man. You ain't gonna want to miss out, because I got a lot of head taps you ain't gonna see on there.
Police say there is no sign of forced entry and no weapons were found in the room.
Tied together is crazy.
Was indicted for running a corporate-style drug empire in 2004, where dealers were making up to $45,000 a day selling drugs, while other members would guard the building from the roof, even making use of sniper rifles and night vision goggles. And
for sure, it was going down.
Headquarters in the Met Building, or the Castle as they called it, they would control the drug trade across a very large area, which included the Parkway Gardens, aka O Block. But besides Melly, numerous people famous within the drill scene grew up in the Met Building, such as Chief Keef, Lil Reese, and even FYBJ Maine.
Everybody that's out here for real, that's like I don't even want to really name, but like Melly, all these big time, they really from 617, right?
Yeah.
Straight up, like FYBJ Maine.
Calumet City, man. Calumet Block, man.
You feel me? Like,
Reese from there too, man.
Yeah, 617. Reese my cousin. 617, baby. Yeah.
Crazy that everybody be cousins.
6217, baby.
Right. All these people came out of the building. Right.
6217, baby. Capo, 6217, baby.
The legendary GBE Capo.
My cousin, yeah, 6217, baby. For sure.
That's crazy.
17 babies.
It's crazy that everybody say that's my cousin, but it's crazy because you really can't say a nigga lying. That's the craziest part about it, because all these people really do relate to. Like, if you live in Chicago, especially, like, it's different if you move to Chicago, your parents moved to Chicago or some shit, but if you really, like, your parents was born in Chicago and you was born in Chicago, man, you got so many connections you don't even know.
It's just like, when the Calumet Building got took down, back when I was a shorty, you know, went to their blocks and you know that shit.
fact, Jay Main's father was one of the board members of the gang who ruled their operations inside and outside the building.
Right. My pops is a man, he originated in the Calumet building, and he did get indicted, and he did get locked up in 04, and yeah, they labeled him as a black disciple. It do hit different when they labeled Pops as a black disciple, and he went down as one of them board members, bro. It do hit different.
Got time for that.
Yeah, my daddy was a rich my childhood. Yeah, he ran a certain area from a certain part of Chicago, from the state to the lake. That's what I read in the paperwork for them grades. Like I say, I ain't here putting it on Pops. It do hit different.
That money ain't gonna make itself. What you can do to make some money, man, is get into that stock, crypto, and stock options market right now. I'm talking about Aura, while the market is still busting. But if you don't know how to do that or what to invest into, I got you. Don't forget to hit that link in my description right now where we can show you how to make some big plays, because every day is an opportunity to make big plays. Let's go ahead and get that money.
The Randolph Tower was eventually demolished in 2006
They had
as part
to.
of the Chicago Housing Authority's plan to get rid of almost all of the large public housing projects in the city. But at some point, Melly's family moved to another address in the same neighborhood, located near 59th and Calumet. This area eventually becoming known as the turf of the Set 600, who would later become Melly's worst enemies, as Melly's brother Wu would later recollect during his DJU interview.
I'm saying, like, we stayed there. I used to have to walk out there with my sword. Like, that's how we came out there with the sword on 59th. That's what it was, you feel me? Like, I was in their hood, I lived in their hood. Like, I walked from there. I used to walk from 59th to the 51st through the park. Like, you feel me? Yeah. But when I was out on 59th, it wasn't up like how it was. You feel like,
right.
They had like, look, you know, I be sneaky talking. We wasn't like into it, but mother had secret animosity. But
right,
we ain't just nobody to play with. You feel me? So you ain't gonna do nothing you want to do for real. Right. And that's just what it was. Okay, cool.
Although Melly would seemingly keep living in the area for some time, he would ultimately become close with kids from the opposite side of Washington Park who hung around the 51st Street and were part of a gang set known as 051 Young Money, who were primarily identifying as Mickey Cobras.
Right
Melly
up the
is
street.
in fact the same generation as the older founding members of this gang, such as Carlos Merrill, aka Lil Los, Lance Youngblood, and Isaiah Walker, aka Zico, who were all killed in 2008 when Melly was still in high school. Particularly the murder of Zico, who is often considered as the main founder of the 051 Young Money gang, would play a role in defining one of Melly's earliest rivalries with the set known as 46 Terror, later named THF 46, whose member Aki Walton was actually convicted of Zico's murder. Having had 3 people close to you killed during just 1 year before the drill culture would even escalate the gang rivalry in the city is truly tragic, and it may partly explain why Melly would eventually turn into such a cold-blooded killer that he allegedly was. However, this was only the beginning for Melly losing people around him. In July 2009, 21-year-old Dominic Barnes from the 051 neighborhood would be shot and killed, which would years later lead to THF 46 member and Lil Durks' good friend THF Bezu getting charged for the murder, but he would end up
I
losing
just saw that.
charges.
I
Bezu
just saw that.
himself would allegedly almost be killed by 051 in April 2011 when 18-year-old THF 46 affiliate Quinton Turner, aka Quint, was killed in a triple shooting where Bezu was also hit. Years later, Melly would bring up this incident while on Instagram Live with Bezu, after Bezu would claim that Melly and other 051 members were all good kids until THF forced them to hop in the streets by applying so much pressure.
Hey Melly, who forced y'all in?
Who the reason why we play with guns?
Who forced y'all in?
Y'all the first people.
Y'all would drive y'all mama's cars in 8th grade, bro.
See, you lying. I want to drive my mama's car. I want to drive
y'all grammar school driving y'all mama's cars. The whole Young Money was the basketball players. Keep it real.
Oh, now you lying for you just said half of us ain't. You can say half the Young Money was basketball players. You ain't finna say nobody know.
Hey Melly, man, half y'all was the mama's boys, man. Y'all driving.
Aren't you tired of watching the basketball games, NFL games, NHL games, and you ain't getting none on any money on? Well, I got the fun ons for you to get the money on front of grave. So let's go ahead and get in the clutch covers right now. Because if you want to make money like this, then you definitely got to get with what I'm putting down. So hit that link in the description right now, and you're going to get premium bets every day, all day, just so you can get some money, man. That's all I got for you. A free month.
Y'all mama's car in 7th, 8th grade, bro.
He on that.
Y'all in this, bro. We the reason why y'all got y'all name right now. You know that.
You say y'all the reason why we got us a name, and y'all the reason why y'all got a name. Y'all got a name. It go both ways. No, it go both ways.
Now you gonna tell him she crazy.
You want to start this on? It's gonna go both ways.
Nah, we been to
it's never been no killing without killing.
Facts.
Keep it real though.
We've been into it y'all since 07, bro.
You damn right, but it's never been no killing without killing though. We ain't gonna.
I'm saying what year somebody died from our block?
You said what year?
for sure.
Zico got killed in 08. I'm keeping fun. Then somebody died in 10, right?
Never heard of him.
Never heard of him.
What?
It's crazy.
10.
It ain't having back to back. Then somebody died in 10 right there. Then you get shot then?
I got shot in 11.
All right, well,
I got
you got
shot
shot, right?
Yeah.
You got shot and then somebody checked, right? All right, we ain't gonna be doing
got shot for sure.
all right, look, we ain't gonna be doing on the internet. That ain't for the internet.
051's
Yeah, he
gang
know.
rivalries
He
would
know.
begin to intensify
He
during
know.
the early 2010s, boosted by the rise of social media and the start of the drill music movement. Perhaps the first casualty of this new era on 051's side was 18-year-old Tariq Mahdi, aka T Streets, who was gunned down in November
T Streets
2011
definitely
on a quiet
crazy.
stretch of street in the Washington Park neighborhood. And while this murder has remained unsolved, there have been numerous different theories about who might have been behind it, with many thinking that this was actually the first casualty in the years-long war between 051 and the 600 set. After all, the murder took place very close to 600's hood. However, this theory has been challenged by many people who often claim that T Streets was in fact killed by 051's old enemies, THF-46. King Von, on the other hand, would famously name-drop T Streets in his popular song I Am What I Am, rapping how somebody tried to do a peace treaty and ended up dying like T Streets. These lyrics perhaps hinting that T Streets' murder has a backstory that might not be fully known to the people on the outside.
Man, we don't never know the backstory between all these murders, man. People just be, people just check every day, bro. So I wouldn't read too much into it because we'll never really know what the hell happened. But hey, just gotta be careful out here on Bruno Gray because shit be wild, bro. Like really, really wild out here. Just be safe, be careful because these YNs don't care. Even these old YNs, he ain't even a YN, he an ON on Bruno Gray. Old nigga, he ain't no young nigga. They don't care about nothing. They will smoke you for looking at them wrong on Bruno Gray.